When I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Donnie and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
my head up.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just.
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Moss?
Oh, my heart.
Happy 20th anniversary.
My heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Johnny.
And that'll be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself.
The doctor lived next door to the janitor, to the reverend, and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Donnie, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all the more.
Letting His glory shine through. That'll be you, that'll be me, that'll be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. Entered the winning for the long haul. Baby, it's Thursday, but we still got March Madness going on. Anyway, top of the day to you. We're going to get it straight to the get down. We have a special guest with us today, Mr. Ira Chase. Ira Chase, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, Donnie. Good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Have you been on this show before?
I have been on this show back when we first launched Hoodfellas, Bistro and Catering. You were gracious enough to invite me on, so I super appreciate that.
Really? Really? Where you from, Ira?
So born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland, buddy. West Baltimore to be exact.
And where'd you get the name Hoodfellas?
So Hoodfellas was actually derived from a neighborhood that me and my partner, Ben Thompson, grew up in West Baltimore. So Hoodfellas means neighborhood. So meaning that you do not have to be a stereotype, right? You do not have to be, as they say, a product of your environment, and you really can do whatever you want to do as long as you are willing to put in the work, have a bit of a determination behind that as well.
So it's a neighborhood, or it's a neighborhood saying?
Yeah, so we came up with the saying, Ben and I, just around like kind of a play on words based off of the neighborhood we grew up in. We grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood. So said, hey, like we'll be hood fellas, right? And so never forgetting where we came from, but again, not being a product of that environment, if that makes sense.
What was rough about your neighborhood?
Man, what was it rough about the neighborhood? I would just say, gunshots rang out rather frequently, and there were quite a few other things in that neighborhood that if you made it through there, you made it, baby, you can make it anywhere. I promise you that.
What high school did you go to, Ira?
Went to Carver Votat for culinary.
Okay, well, that's in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, no, I know. I'd catch the bus there from my neighborhood.
See, I lived there. I lived in the 1500 block of Moreland Avenue. We used to watch all you cats who went to Carver.
Yeah. How about that Moreland? Yeah, Moreland Avenue. Yeah.
I remember seeing some people get chased from Carver. If they got chased from Carver. Cat had to run from Bentlow and Pressman all the way to North Avenue because that's the only place that you might catch a bus. But I tell you, if you was waiting on that 51 coming up Bentlow, you was gonna get stomped because that bus come like once every 58 minutes.
Yeah, that bus did run slow, man. We used to just go ahead and walk up. That's exactly what we used to do. Walk up
You
the
got
door.
that, and if somebody chasing you, oh my God, you're in a world of trouble.
Yeah, well, thank God I ain't had to worry about nobody chasing me.
What was your skill that you studied at Carver?
Culinary.
You know, have you been through there in the past 15 years? I don't know how it was back when I was a kid, but I know some new principal had upgraded the whole culinary experience. They were teaching food service and restaurants, or how to run a restaurant. Was that going on in Carver then?
Yeah, so when I was in high school there, that's exactly what we were doing, focusing on food service. They had like a little kind of kitchen off of the cafeteria where students came up with a menu. You could sit in there and eat, and they served students during lunch. So you had an option to either eat the public school lunch or you could buy lunch from there. It was pretty cool.
Oh, you know Corey Puckett,
Corey,
represented by their favorite lawyer, Granville Templeton.
man, listen,
Granville Templeton getting love on the show. We haven't seen Granville Templeton in about 15, 20 years on this show.
yeah, listen, Grant, that's my guy, man. He's actually our lawyer as well. He's a good guy.
What makes him a good guy?
So he is super supportive, right? So he's super supportive. He is a wealth of knowledge, and he definitely can connect you with the right people to kind of help grow your business. So I'm a super good lawyer.
Is it important to have a lawyer?
It is, man. So you understand the legalities of things, right? And so there are a lot of nuances in running a business, right? And so that you don't get yourself into trouble or kind of get in the hot water, it's really good to have an attorney on standby, somebody that you can ask questions to that help you kind of navigate the legal landscape.
You know, some people say when you ask them, can you afford a lawyer? They'll reply, can you afford not to have a lawyer?
I would agree with that, man. And it's all relative, right? So you're going to spend money regardless, right? So it's just allocating your money to the right things. You definitely, absolutely don't want to be in any type of legal issue. There's two things that you don't want to be in. You don't want no legal issues. You don't want no tax issues. Those two things, you do not want to deal with those two things.
So we call that bail. No, seriously. The banker, the accountant, the insurance, and the lawyer, BAIL.
That makes perfect sense.
The bail.
Yep, that makes because that's the stuff that'll get you bailed out. Let me try to tell you. All of that, all of your insurances from owning a business, your workman's comp insurance, your general liability, your umbrella, all of those things you got to make sure that because it's only for one slip and fall, man. Small business that'll devastate you.
How'd you come to be in the Muncie building? When people come there, I've seen the look on their faces. See that right there? See that look on your face? I've seen when people come in there and the wow factor. How did you get inside the Muncie building? Because when you go inside, it looks like some real, I don't know, like an old bank, some Victorian, some London, and they say, "Oh, it's black people up in here," and it's like, oh, it's black people up in here.
So it took us a long time to find the right location, right? Just to give you a little backdrop on kind of how we started. So we kind of started serving like meals and things out of Ben's kitchen at his house, and moved from there to having like one of those big tanker grills that you kind of just pull around with your car or truck. We were just doing pop-ups all over Baltimore City, everything like that. And then in our infinite wisdom, which everybody thought we were crazy, during COVID, we opened up a little carryout on Bacon and Pennsylvania Avenue, right down the street from Penn North, right? Kind of like a Rita's ice cream. You order on one side, you pick up on the other side. And we did pretty well during COVID with low overhead costs. We kind of had a line around the block. And so as we were looking at locations to really grow in, we looked at quite a few, right? So we looked at locations down, what was that? Let's say down like Boston Street, off of Boston Street. We looked at a few locations, nice real estate. We also
What did you think of that area, Boston Street? I mean, so much traffic, so much business. has moved to, sadly, it's whiter there than, say, downtown where you are now. What did you think of Boston Street? Did you think that you fit in, that black people would come there? Was it just for black people? You think white people would, save the business, save your business idea? Help me out.
So when we looked at the location in Boston Street, right, it was bigger than the location we have now, right? So we like that from a space perspective, right? We have one bar. That location had two bars, and it was a ton of traffic, right? An absolute ton of traffic. But what it wasn't, what they didn't have to any degree was any parking, right? So no parking whatsoever, not a parking lot in close proximity, so on and so forth. And what you don't want is for your customers to have to figure out how they're going to park, or somebody's drinking and they want to, park 6 blocks away and walk in. So that can be a deterrent from your business. And so that's why we chose not to have that particular location, right? We went from there, we looked at a nice location in Highlandtown, which was nice off of Eastern Avenue. That location had plenty of free parking, like street parking. However, to your point, wasn't a whole lot of black businesses in that area.
All right, we see you when you get back, babe. Holla.
Hey.
No, that's what I'm saying. Your peoples were saying, hey, I might come out there Saturday.
Absolutely. And so it was a lot of, and so right around on Eastern Avenue, it's a bunch of Mexican and Hispanic places, and that's really like where they make their bread and butter, right? So we chose not to use that location. Then we kind of stumbled on this location inside the Muncie building. So we are the singular restaurant in a residential apartment building in downtown Baltimore. The space had been uninhabitable for about a year. No one been in there, right? And so we wanted to look at what's the opportunity. So it's like 140 apartments above us. There's another 100 apartments across the street. We got both of the courthouses directly across the street. We do a juror special, $15, no tax included. So you get to take the same $15 they give you across the street. You bring it over here, and we'll get you a burger, fries, and a drink. We'll get you fish, chips, and a drink. We'll get you wings and fries and a drink for that same $15, because here we like to reward people for doing their civic duty. And so this location just kind of lined up with everything that we were looking for. There are 2 parking lots. Now, it's downtown Baltimore, so you still got to pay for parking. But there's 2 parking lots behind the building. So it just kind of lined up across the board. And that's how we ended up here.
Albert, where'd you get this gift of gab? You come from like a long line of preachers, a long line of lawyers, a long line of hustlers. Somebody was a hustler. Was it your grandma, your granddad? Who was selling chicken dinners, or somebody? I don't know. Might have been running numbers. I don't know. Just hypothetical. Bootleg. I don't know. What was going on?
You need to stop, man. So my grandmother, God rest her soul, she used to work at like Hat Company. She used to work at what's downtown? So on Monroe Street, what was there at first?
Oh, Montgomery Ward.
Yes, that's what
Montgomery Ward.
Yeah, so she used to be like a waitress in Montgomery Ward, right? And so,
I got chased out of there, boy. Them white boys chased me out of there one time. I went to get a pair of Wrangler jeans. Monkey Ward. You talking about a run? I had to run from Monkey Ward up to Wilkins Avenue. Don't stop. I heard the white boys say, "There he is. Get his ass." And that's when I didn't know I had Jesse Owens all in my DNA. Don't stop. They had dogs, bats. I remember they had dogs and bats. I'm like, for little old me.
Yeah, you got to get out of there, baby. So my grandma, so she was a waitress at Montgomery Ward. So I think it's kind of interesting that she was a waitress and now I kind of own a restaurant, right? So that's kind of that's saying something, like that's
my great uncle worked at the Center Club. The Center Club is located in the old USF&G building at Lombard and Light, the 15th and the 16th floor. Matter of fact, Nicole Kirby had an event there recently that I attended, but I found out that my great uncle worked there, my dad worked there, and I ended up working there. So they got me a tuxedo to be up in there. Great experience. In more ways than one. It reminded me a little bit of a plantation, though, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, some black people didn't know slavery was over. Okay, so downtown Baltimore, who else? You mentioned Granville. Who else was important to that move there, or was anybody else important?
No, absolutely. Our real estate agent Ravinda, she's been with us for like well over 2 years, just through the entire process of trying to find a place.
Linda who?
Ravinda, her name is Ravinda Shawnee. So she has absolutely been with us as we've been trying to look at different places over the course of 2 years. She stayed with us, making sure we found the right place. Granville, as you just said, looking at every contract, examining everything, making sure that we got the right and proper deal. And then when we got into this location here, Shalonda Stokes and Downtown Partnership, super helpful around helping us gain funding and grants for for the storefront and different things like that. So being able to take advantage of those programs. Esther and the Grabo company, super supportive around helping us get into different events. Like we did Preakness last year, which was absolutely amazing. And because we are 2 blocks from the mayor's office, man, the mayor's in here, maybe once or twice a week, and he's ordering food, and we're building. And because we were able to build that relationship, we've done a lot of things catering for the mayor's office and his different events throughout the summer, Y Jam, the other event down in front of City Hall. And so, like, I would say we've been super blessed because we are a small minority Black-owned business. But throughout Baltimore City, there has absolutely been individuals that have stepped up and showed out to help us grow our business over the last, year and a half, which we super appreciate.
I want to put a pin in it right there. So I want to go into Brandon Scott's support of Hoodfellas. Now, when we put the story up and we did the promos, matter of fact, I got a guy that he wants me to call him back, and I might not, but he gave me a little bait question, and the bait was he's trying to reel me in, and it's like, come on, man, you playing checkers and I'm playing poker, But the question, he came with a question that, Donnie, is this the first time that Mayor Scott received the Black Wall Street Award? And I was like, all right, I'll get back to you. Because I knew where it was going. I knew where he really wanted to go because I saw him at a protest as I'm coming to the Black Wall Street at Hoodfellas. He was at a protest in front of City Hall with some people. And I know them. I actually covered the protest. The protest is going to be more news. But don't try to, as they say in the street, don't try to pimp a pimp. So anyway, what he wanted to ask, presumably, was why did we give Brandon Scott a Joe Mann's Black Wall Street Award? I knew it was coming. I'm just glad he had the testicular fortitude to ask publicly without some, backdoor stuff.
Well, I'll be happy to answer that. So, as I said, the mayor just randomly one day came in here, right? And so he just came into the restaurant. Usually mayors walk around, or they rarely walk. The mayor has a security detail, about 6-7 cars. Not our man. So this guy walked 2 blocks up the street, two security guards walked in, didn't make a lot of hoopla, stood at the counter, ordered his food like a regular person. Everybody,
how did that make you feel? I got that. How did it make you feel?
Man, listen, man, I thought that was pretty cool because we looked over and was like, oh wow, that's the man. Walked over, shook his hand, said, hey, we can take care of you. He said, no, this nice lady right here was right here. So let's make sure that you take care of her first. I can certainly wait my turn, right? Which I thought was absolutely cool of him. And then he proceeded to sit down and ate. And he yeah, absolutely, man. He loved the salmon, loved the salmon, loved the salmon, loved the roasted corn and the broccoli because the man don't eat meat. And so ever since then, he has absolutely eaten from us quite a bit. Uh, we had a conversation with him, kind of shared our story like we shared with many other individuals like yourself. And he said, "Hey, we may have some opportunities coming up that maybe we can loop you into." A couple of weeks later, the call, and the call said, "Hey, is this ours?" I said, "Yeah." Well, this is the mayor's office. I said, "Oh, wow." So this is the mayor's office. The mayor told us to give you a call and see if you'd be interested in attending one of the events down the street at City Hall. We're going to close everything off, and we'd like you to be a vendor. So I'm like, cool, like absolutely, why not? So we go down there, right? So we got all of these food trucks in a row, right? And so that's before we even had a food truck. So like we set up a tent, we set up the food and all that, and then the mayor's team come and get us and say no. So like you're not going to be here with everybody else. We're going to move you directly in front of City Hall. You're only going to be serving the City Hall workers, like the mayor's immediate team. He's like, wow, like absolutely insane, man. That level of opportunity that he afforded to us, and that was just the first event. I mean, there has been several events all over Baltimore City. Our most recent event, which Donnie, because you were there, we were the only caterer to do the Squeegee Boy event at the UA house in January. There was no other food source in the building. It was just us there. So we were there from a food perspective. We started a nonprofit. Our nonprofit was there from a resources perspective. The mayor's been amazingly supportive, and we super not appreciate him and the level of consistency.
So I don't know if you know my reputation around town, but I've covered a lot of politics, and we don't give politicians any break. One of the first questions we ask anybody running for mayor of Baltimore or governor of the state of Maryland is whether or not they plan to help create some new black millionaires. And if they act goofy, then we help them to understand the significance of creating new black millionaires. But no one acts goofy like that. But they may try to duck and dodge, but I don't care if it's Westmore, if it's Larry Hogan, if it's Martin O'Malley, if it's Robert Ehrlich. We have asked everyone who has become governor over the past 20 years, do you plan on help creating some new black millionaires, and how? And so, is it a storm outside? Because I live in the hood too. I know. So, as time goes on, people expect me to be hard on politicians, including Mayor Brandon Scott, and especially with the election next year.
Mm-hmm.
People are hard on Brandon Scott. No room for error. Black mayor, youngest black mayor in Baltimore, but we hard on him. And especially as we're going into an election season. So I get these questions, what do you think about Brandon? What do you think about Brandon? You didn't even tell me the whole story. You just told me the mayor was supportive of you. That's good enough for me. And now as you have explained the story, isn't that what you want from your black mayor? That's what you want from any mayor.
Any mayor. That's exactly what I was going to say.
From any mayor, but Brandon. Who else can you say that about? Who is an elected official? With all due respect, please take the floor.
No, listen, absolutely. So I'll say one more thing about the mayor, and then I'll give you another elected official that's been helpful to us. So we recently got a food truck, right? And so we have a residency at like Monument City Brewery over east on Haven Street. Thank you so much. So we over there doing an event, right? and we see all of these bicycles pull up. And when I say bicycles, Donnie, I mean actual bicycles, not motorcycles, buddy. I ride a motorcycle. All of these bicycles and everybody pulling up. So we see all these bicycles pull up. We're like, all right, it's crazy. When I say all of them, I mean like 300 bicycles pull up, right? This annual bicycle ride thing that I had no idea about. So we getting orders left, right, and sideways, right? And so I see this guy ride up. I say, oh, I know this guy. It's the mayor. Right. The mayor riding with 300 Baltimoreans, just riding his regular bike. And he got 2 security guards riding behind him. And so he pull up, and the guy walk up to me and he say, man, I knew I smelled something. I say, oh man, I know that smell. It's Hoodfellas. Came right over to the truck, man. And everybody like, oh, Mr. Mayor, go ahead. He did it again. He said, no, he had 2-3 people in front of him. No, y'all go ahead, waited his turn, and ordered food from us right there. And that's what I mean, that level of support, right? And so this guy, absolutely, this guy's consistently supportive. Moreover, he's consistently in the community to that degree. And when I say in the community, I mean he's not being chauffeured around. This guy's walking up. He's walking up here to us. He's on his bicycle riding with the people. I don't know that you can ask for more than that. Like we really feel like that that he's a man of the people. He really generally cares about his city.
They're hard on me, Ira. They like, Donnie, you usually hard on politicians, but we have to also listen. We also have to give our own a chance. When I hear stories like that, I don't care who they are, whether I voted for them or not, that's worthy of celebration. You can't pay for that type of support. Easily he could have put his support over here or that restaurant, but he understands the significance of us in a majority black city having a presence in downtown Baltimore. How rare that is, especially with a restaurant. You know the margin of profit. You busy making sure people don't steal, give away your liquor, make sure liquor lambs don't go out the back door.
All that.
Pocketbook, got security cameras, got to make sure the bartender's pouring what she's supposed to be pouring, or customers ain't getting freebies and all of that. We got you. I'm proud of this man for supporting your business. I don't care what they say elsewhere, what they don't say, and we are proud to acknowledge him for supporting Hoodfellas. Who else?
So another individual, man, City Council President Nick Mosby, super supportive as well. Nick is absolutely let me know about different opportunities within Baltimore City. He's really big on promoting black businesses. Nick has definitely orchestrated a few different meetings with Hoodfellas and different businesses so that we can kind of partnership with opportunities to grow, which is super cool, right? And so again, somebody else that I know from a can of paint. Nick came in here one day, sat down, tried a cheesesteak, egg rolls, and the rest they say is history. And he is also
I'm a witness.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He's also been like really, really supportive. I mean,
I'm a witness to them egg rolls.
Yeah, the egg rolls is everything. But absolutely, I mean, like this guy, like I could pick up the phone and call him, City Council President, and say, hey, Nick, could you help me with this, or could you point me in the right direction with that? And that guy answers the phone every time, and I can't imagine how busy he is. And that's someone else that just is consistently trying to help us grow. Somebody else that I feel like really cares about, their city and the community.
So, Ira, we're a news outlet. I want to tell you a little something about myself.
Okay.
I got in the media a long time ago. Actually, was on WEAA at 15. Before that was on Evening Magazine, Bob Turk and the Sunshine Kids.
Bob Turk.
You old enough to remember that? Here comes the sun. I was a Bob Turk and the Sunshine Kid. Sold afros. Media called me, and I have tried my best to answer the call. Baltimore Times, the Afro, WEAA, WEBB, Channel 11, CNN,
wow.
TV One. All of that's nice, but we've learned in black media that we have a different job than the people who work for Fox.
Oh yeah, for Fox for sure.
Channel 13, Channel 11, we are black owned. And like you take pride in being a black owned business that hires black people. And that's why I have to support efforts. You have 25 employees. So my first day at Coppin State in the media arts program, Professor Ron Nichols made us watch this movie. Now you're like, whoopee, okay, the first day of class, we get to watch a movie. Slow down, pimp. The movie was called The Birth of a Nation. It's the first feature film made in this country by D.W. Griffith. And it had all kinds of stereotypes in it, like black people were like jigaboo eyes or huge lips or real black and red and, all kinds of negative, docile, yes, sir, and all of that. They played this film at the White House.
At the White House?
Oh, yeah. D.W. Griffith, I think it was 1970. They played it at the White House for people who came here from other countries so they could show them how they got us in check. So a professor wanted us to see this film so that we could better understand the role that we play in black media. Can you look to your neighbor and say, don't be like a Kyle Jackson? I'm just joking. But my point is, mainstream media has no problem telling their story. Mm-hmm. And they have no problem telling our story. Mainstream media like Fox will talk about the squeegee kids every day. They'll talk about Marilyn Mosby every day. But the bozo that look like the Joker caught in the whirlwind doing insurrections, and can you imagine if black people would have jumped the walls on January 6th and climbed in? They'd been shot dead.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was going to say. Been a lot of
Fox don't see that. Fox see the squeegee kids. Fox doesn't come uptown and see, hypothetically, the addicts in my alley who don't look like me.
Yeah.
They don't see them.
Nope.
They don't see them breaking in my house or the house next door or living in the vacants, causing fires. Fox don't see the police go to them, take their dope, and let them go. Fox don't see that. They just see the damn squeegee kids. Like everything wrong with Baltimore is the damn squeegee kids problem.
Because that's all they want to see.
Right. So us in black media, we have a unique job, which is to make sure we tell the entire picture. And you are part of that entire picture because we don't celebrate. We don't have enough black businesses. This is a majority black city, 63%. The mayor, the city council president, they said it at the Black Wall Street event. We got to be here. We got to have our presence. It's a 63% black city. We should be it. You're not the first black business in downtown Baltimore. I mean, we have a long history, over 100 years, going back to before slavery, 200 years of being in downtown Baltimore. The Great Baltimore Fire killed some black businesses downtown. I think that was like 1904. But this is a black city, a proud black city. We had the largest population of free blacks before the Civil War. Everybody wanted to come to Baltimore. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel fortunate, man. So to your point, everybody talks about, all of the negativity of what's going on in Baltimore. But there are so many positive things, like just being in close proximity to the harbor. Like we have one of the best harbors. We have one of the best national aquariums. There are legit things here that you can get in a New York, that you can get in a New York, that you can get in LA, that you can get in Houston. Baltimore is a fantastic city. And as long as we continue to put everything into it, right, that we can, as business owners, as Baltimoreans, as politicians, then it will absolutely grow to what we want it to be. And I definitely think that in the city, in the state now with Westmore, in the Senate with Senator Corey McCray, another guy that eats lunch here that has been super supportive. I really think that Baltimore and the state of Maryland is really headed in the right direction, and that there could absolutely be a ton more of black-owned businesses to support that initiative, because we definitely have the right people in place to support us. They've certainly been supporting Hoodfellas.
You know, Ira, there are some black people who are no longer with us, who fought long and hard. Raymond V. Haysbert. Raymond V. Haysbert is known as the Dean of Business. He ran Park Sausages after Henry Parks. You know, more Park Sausages.
Hey.
In addition to Raymond V. Haysbert, there was Arnold Jolivet. Arnold Jolivet was a huge advocate. He would go down to City Hall. He would call up the mayor at the time. He would G-check anybody, saying the University of Maryland, hypothetically, just, you know, they're asking for all of this money. We need to make sure that they have a certain percentage set aside for black businesses. Or you have right now, you have Wayne Frazier. He runs the Maryland Washington Minority Companies Association. He's very serious about making sure that black people get a piece of the pie. See, we can have a black mayor, but if nobody puts that pressure on them to do things for black business, they can easily forget. So
Absolutely.
one of my favorites was named Bob Clay. You know Jill Carter?
Yeah.
I could argue there might not be a Jill Carter if it weren't for Bob Clay, because Bob Clay financed the first campaign.
Wow.
Ran for delegate, then he ran for one office. I also remember he ran for mayor. Bob Clay was so serious. Overnight, you saw signs everywhere.
Wow.
And that could be very well why Bob Clay got killed. He was right-handed, but he got shot in the left side of his head, and they said it was suicide.
Of course they did.
So when you have people who are supportive of your black business, they stand on the shoulders, probably when you think about it, going back to Harriet Tubman, back to Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass ran a ship caulking union over on Caroline Street. Frederick Douglass. And it was the beginning of the national labor movement in Baltimore. Him and Isaac Myers. Okay, so I got a couple people that are going to join us in a minute. They want to say hello to you, some of your colleagues around town. Tell us what's on the menu.
Oh man, so I don't know if you can see, man. Let me see if I can adjust this thing right here. So this is the mural that's kind of behind us. So you see what that say right there? Home of the crab cake egg rolls, baby. Like that's it. Like that is our number one export, as they say. So we are the home of the crab cake egg rolls, and we just talked about those cheesesteak egg rolls, but those crab cakes are jumbo lump crab cake, no filler, all crab meat, and everybody absolutely love those.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that memo. Crab cake egg rolls. This is news to me. Breaking news.
Yeah,
wow.
Crab cake egg rolls, jumbo lump, man. Everybody absolutely loves them. We do an amazing honey bourbon lamb chop. Absolutely amazing. We have our twisted fries, man, that stay crispy for 20 minutes.
You know, I ain't seen no skinny girls in your restaurant.
I would say, man, our ribs fall off the bone. That the mac and cheese yams are absolutely homemade and fresh. Like we like to say here at Hoodfellas, we make food that feeds your soul, right? Like we absolutely make food that feeds your soul.
What about? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, John.
No.
And I would say we talked about all of the individuals that have supported us. So I want to say one thing that we have done. So 6 months ago, we created a nonprofit. It's called Chasing Your Dreams. That nonprofit specifically focuses on teenagers and young adults, 16 to 24, in the Baltimore area, and we focus on workforce development. Thank you, Donnie. So we take our nonprofit right here and our for-profit, and we kind of merge them together. So we have individuals that come in through the nonprofit, and we give them immediate job placement in one of our facilities, right? So like the restaurant or the food truck or catering. So we take it like a young individual, like we have a nice young lady now named Chloe, right? So she goes to City High School, and she's working right
I
now.
thought you said she go to Poly.
No, she go to
I thought you said she went to Pity.
no. So she goes to City. So she wants to be a chef, so she's working here. We have a young man that goes to Woodlawn High School named Emery. He's working doing catering with us at Amazon, working in a restaurant. We have a young lady named Alyssa. She goes to Morgan. She's one of our server supervisors. Like, so this program is really working, and it's really I feel like it's really helping the community, and that is something that we want to do, that we want to get back, right? As I said, Ben and I were absolutely born and raised in Baltimore, right?
You better tell them about Ben. I don't want no stuff.
That's right.
I'm only like 175, 180. I don't know I can handle big fella.
Absolutely. What can we do to give back to the community? And like Ben really focuses on the food. He makes the menu. Like, he really has a huge passion for this. And I've known that guy for 35 years. It's been 35 long years, but it's been 35 years of me and that dude coming out the alley together. And I certainly couldn't partner with anyone other than him. And so together, we created this amazing thing that in our wildest dreams, we wouldn't have thought could materialize into this. And now we have 25 individuals that work for us. Now we have kids that are in high school and college working for us, and we're able to give back to the community that helped us grow into real business owners. I mean, it's really amazing.
You got to say a little bit more about Ben, man.
Yeah, man. So actually he's not here now because he's on his way picking up some food to make sure we straight for the weekend. So he's picking up lamb and all of that now. But that guy, like I said, I've been known for 35 years. He is consistently challenging himself to come up with new things, right? And so even if he's never made it before, this guy will do the research. He'll play around with the ingredients. He'll make something out of nothing. And it's always good, and people always love it. And people have been following that guy around the city from his house to the grill to the carry-out to the restaurant. People have been following that guy consistently around the city because his food is so amazing. And to be honest, man, this thing was absolutely his dream. This is what he wanted. This is what he wanted to do. I went to school for culinary, but I have a big background in business and sales, and so I've spent a lot of time.
What you used to sell? What did you sell more of than anything before you got the Hoodfellas?
Man, listen, I sold everything it is possible to sell. At one point, I even went door to door selling Electrolux vacuum cleaners, buddy. And you ain't made a sale till you knocked on the door, got to somebody's house, demoed the vacuum cleaner, and then pulled out a contract for $1,500. That's a sale. I sold everything it is possible to sell. And Ben came to me and he said, "Hey man, I have this idea, and I want to grow it. And I trust you with trust you with this idea, trust you with this dream." And then we partnered together and we're able to grow that dream into what we have now, which is absolutely amazing.
Who did the logo?
So that's my side. So that's my side of the business. So operation, human resources, all of that. So I found a nice young lady that's not even in this country to actually do our logo. Took several months to kind of build that thing from scratch.
The logo, it took months
because we kept going back to the drawing board. It wasn't quite what we wanted it to be. So the logo took months, but it's absolutely perfect now, man. And we put that logo on everything.
LeRon Finney told me years ago, I told him I'm only going to get a black web designer. I'm only going to get a black, and I'm skipping subjects. I'm only going to deal with black people. LeRon Finney said, no.
Mm-hmm.
No. Not for some, hey, I understand, but no.
Yeah.
And I learned, you do want to support your own, but you want the best. You want the best that you can find. I want the best web designer, the best publisher, the best everything, whomever it should be. So that was a great word to the wise. I want to ask you one last question, and our guest, your special guest, they just want to say hello to you, should be coming in, is how important is faith to you? Because I can see grandma's prayers all over you. I know somebody made you go to church or the mosque.
Definitely went to church.
Or the synagogue. They made you go some of the Jehovah's Witness Kingdom Hall. Or,
Baptist church.
Huh?
Baptist church.
Oh, I kind of knew you was Baptist because that's why you like them short prayers. Somewhere along the line, somebody gave you very long prayers, and the food got cold. You like, nah. Praise the Lord, hallelujah, amen.
Yeah, that's it. So faith is super important, man. And so for the last year and a half, you know, opening a restaurant, and Ben and I being responsible, absolutely responsible for people's livelihood, being responsible for how people feed their family, for how they feed their children, right? So being responsible for that, man, that is a huge responsibility. I don't know that you can do any of that without faith. You know, like without stepping out, because like you don't know that your business is going to work. You just know that you have a really good idea, and you hope that you can turn that idea into something that's going to make dollars and cents, but you really don't know. So all that you have is faith and determination, right? So you put those two things together, and you kind of just step out on that. I mean, talking about going from, you know, a corporate 100 company where you are guaranteed a paycheck, to stepping out on faith, and Ben and I, hey man, listen, if we got a bad week of restaurant sales, man, you might not get a check because you got to make sure your people is taken care of. You got to make sure the bills is taken care of. And so what does that look like for his family or my family, right? So what does that is all faith. So we certainly wouldn't be here without faith or being able to step out on it and trust it. That's for sure.
Okay, any thoughts on the Black Wall Street Awards?
Man, the Black Wall Street Awards was absolutely amazing. It was our second annual Black Wall Street Award. First year, we gave some amazing honorees. We had Shalonda, we had Marilyn, we had some amazing honorees. And then turn around this year, they were just as amazing. Mayor Brandon Scott, Nick Mosby, Senator McCray, Jamie from the governor's office, Natasha from the mayor's. I could go on and on. Like just amazing the second annual year. And we are super fortunate to continue to partner with you and Be More News around this very prestigious, in my opinion, awards that we can showcase how our people are helping our people. I'm gonna say that again because I don't think a lot of people get that. How our people are helping our people, right? And so when you look at everybody, right, when you look at all the different races, I feel like they are successful because they always help each other. And so with Black Wall Street, I love the fact that we showcase how our people help our people, if that makes sense.
So this is one of your fellow restaurateurs in Baltimore. Matter of fact, we've had the Black Wall Street up at his spot.
Yo, peace. How you doing, Chef?
How you doing, brother?
Where you at, man? Sound like you're on
Hey,
another
peace,
planet.
King. How you doing, Chef? Hey. Well, I told you I had this big catering today, so I'm out here making the rounds, getting, you know what last minute things, baby.
Yeah.
Last minute things. That's where the real excitement is when you put this thing they call business together. When you just put a hero called an entrepreneur out here. You know, you make it happen where it might not look like it's going down. So, you know what I mean? Just excited here this morning. Good morning, Donnie. Good morning, everybody out there. What's going on, Chef? What's on with you this morning, man?
So, man, listen, man, just in the restaurant. Yeah, we can hear you.
We hear you, but it's going back and forth. You're trying to do. See, you're always doing this experimental thing. Sit still. There you go. Okay, all right.
So just getting ready. Get ready for the day, man. Get ready for the jurors and the lunch rush. We want to take a minute out this morning, have a conversation with our friend Donnie. We just had our Black Wall Street event last week, and it was absolutely amazing.
So, Ira, have you been?
That was your first one you had over there with Donnie?
That was actually the second one.
So, Ira, have you been up to Terra Cafe?
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been up there once. It's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely a very amazing spot.
Terrence, have you been down to Hoodfellas yet?
Thank you. You know what? I've been to Hoodfellas, all right, but I think I need to come visit them again soon now. It's been a minute.
So he got a
All right.
crab
How's
meat.
everything going on there with you, Chef B? What is it like being in the Windy City? Go ahead, Donnie.
Ira, he was asking how are things down there. So he got some delayed effect.
It's going well, man. It's absolutely going well, right? And so in business it could always be better, but we're not in a position to complain to any degree. Every time the door open, we got people coming through it. We got catering orders, just like you said, you running around doing some catering orders. We were able to add that, we were able to add that food truck, so we making the little rounds there. And so no complaints on this way, man. Long as we can keep serving people, we'll be all right.
Good stuff. So more than anything, I just want you to know, Ira, that there are people that we have to link up with and support each other. Look at the beauty industry. You ever been up Bel Air Road?
I have been up Bel Air Road.
When I see all of the damn black beauty salons up and down Bel Air Road, one thing comes to my mind. Can you imagine if all of those beauty salons knew each other and did a collective buying agreement? Can you imagine if they all bought their hair, bought their products from the same place? The power of the black dollar.
Absolutely.
Hey, Terrence, did you want to say anything in particular? I wanted you to make sure you gave this brother who's younger than me and you some encouragement.
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you what. I've seen him doing his thing. He's doing real well out there. The one thing that he shared was that, and I hear what everybody really does know, is the power that we have within our own community. And when you see that we're helping ourselves and we understand these concepts real simple, guess what? Ain't nobody coming. Okay? And here's the sad part. Listen to this one. This is real crazy. All skin ain't your kin. Sometimes you have to get to the point where you have to trick black people into being awesome because they just don't know. All right? And the other side of that, sometimes you have people that do realize in a conscious effort that, guess what? Maybe some of the things that they do and believe aren't awesome, all right, for our people. It might be for themselves and their individualism of self, but it has to get bigger than us. It has to be community. King, one of the things that I share with you is that, from history, from day one, we've always been able to count on each other. And somewhere along the line, we've lost that, okay? One of the key things is guess what? Your community is bigger than you. If on a Friday night you run out of fries, guess what? You got my number now, 443-829-8601. Come get them fries, all right? You short on staff one night, if I ain't got nobody, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to come and bring my knives, all right? So, that is the essence of what we have to do. It's called social enterprise. A lot of people are using these words, and they're real fancy with them, and they're real cute with them, but they're really putting out the same garbage. It's time for us to take control of this ourselves and change the narrative. I got a series that's starting in a few weeks. It's called The Roots. And what it's about is the roots story. It's about us getting the roots of our community back together. And it's going to start with some basic things. A lot of people will talk about the game that they got, and they ain't really got it. Cats done Google some stuff that they seen on the internet. They done seen somebody else do it, and they're trying to tell somebody else's story, but they haven't lived the adventure. When somebody tell you something next time, King, Chef, what I want you to do is this. Don't tell me about the good times. I want to hear about a couple of the bad times. You feel me? Because if you don't know how to fight, how can you back me up? And the only way that you fight is what? You done got a couple of lumps. So, see, I know I got a couple of lumps from the city, from the community, from neighbors, all right, from those that I thought that were my friends, baby. Come on now. Because remember, everybody ain't going to visit you just to bring love. Sometimes they'll bring other things. And I'm not saying that you treat anybody any different or anything of that nature, but it's the acknowledgement of who you need to be dealing with. Because some people you need to deal with from across the street. You can love them, but stay your ass over there. You feel me? Because it's toxic to the environment that we actually live in our community. And we have to get to that point and make that it. We have to stop choosing this profit all the time. It's very important for business, but people are too. And that's the basis of what we do. I know that I'm a servant. See, I serve my customers. I serve my community, and that's how you win. You feel me? Because it might not always come in your register, but it'll definitely come in your heart. So if you ask me to share something with you, that's what I shared with you this morning. You know what I mean?
All right, Martin Luther King. All right, great job. Great job.
See, that ain't no dream, Donnie. That's my life. That's my journey. That's how I live.
I thought he sounded like
different.
Kendrick Lamar a little bit. All my life, okay. Tony Randall.
Yes, sir.
This is your neighbor. These
I
two
know.
cats, they keep Be More News alive. And
All right.
not just once a month, all year. Tony Randall, we've been with Tony Randall, going back to Howard Street. Tony, get on the block. Any words of encouragement for your younger brother in the industry, your neighbor, so on and so forth? Is there enough for everybody? Can we all eat?
There's always enough for everyone. Collective, collaboration is the key. That's the key. The key. Find people you know that do what you do. Find somebody that you don't know that do what you do. Learn, explore, research, connect. Relationships do matter. So on every corner, there's somebody that can help. You just need to find that person. Persevere, stick to it, have that tenacity, maintain, keep your sanity.
Get him, Tony! Get him, Tony!
Between the three of you.
Hey. And the most important thing I learned a long time ago, my family, Donnie, and I learned this. Your attitude will affect your altitude. If you think high, you'll go into high places. If you think low, you may sink, you may fail, you may not succeed. But there's always an opportunity to have things turn around, because all you need to do is turn your head the other direction, look ahead, look up, believe in God, move forward, and things will always work in your favor, and you shall prosper. Don't look at the things that are falling down near you, the things that are not working. Look at your plan, reinvent your plan, redesign your plan, re-implement, if that matters, if that makes sense. That may not be grammatically correct, but always focus on, your goals and your aspirations. If you believe in yourself, find people that can help you and move in your direction, move the other people out of the way. Run over them with a bulldozer.
Between Tony, between Ira and Terrence, I think you all employ about 75 people in Baltimore. That's 75 people get employed because of you three gentlemen. And most of them are black people, if not all of them at times. That's how you fight crime. Hold up, Tony coming back. Hey, Tony, between the three of you, you guys employ about 75 people. That's how you fight crime, Tony.
Absolutely. Give young people an opportunity.
And you know what, Donnie? It's not just 75 people. Please understand. At one point in time, I thought that it's really not 75 people. It's 75 families. It's 75 communities. Because when that young man or that young lady goes, or that grown man or that grown woman goes into that community, and now because of the environment that we've created for our community, understand that you're talking to people that have set a standard. We've set a standard, okay? We didn't say that we're going to do mediocre. We're looking to be awesome, okay? So when you set that standard and it becomes relevant to those around you, and now they become awesome. I always share with my youth, watch what happens. There's a point in time of change. When you walk in a community and they change the actual what they're talking about, because they look at you different. You're going to work every day. You're being accountable. You're talking different. It ain't no y'all mean. It's hey, good afternoon, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. The basic things of grammar and kindness and respect. You feel me? Like Tony says, that's what's going to get you there. That's what gets you there in the long run. And never look at nobody else's journey, because you don't know their story. They might look like they shining on the outside and they hurting on the inside, baby. You know what I mean? So focus on yourself. Elevate to that level of where you want everybody else to be around you.
I'm proud of all of you. Ira, Terrence, Tony, thank you for last minute showing up. Ira, that's what we do. We show up for each other. These cats make sure they make sure we take care of each other. It's a family. And so thank you all. Any final thoughts before we close on out? Tony?
Thank you. Well, as I said before, Donnie, thank you for what you do. Thank you for creating this platform for us to articulate what we feel, what we believe, and keeping it real. All right. Be more news, right? .com. I love it. Love you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Terrence, any final thoughts when we get out of here? No Martin Luther King speeches.
Nah, I'm gonna give you the short one. Hey, peace, family. Terrence Dixon, Terra Cafe, right on 25th and St. Paul, the heart of Baltimore City. Come on out. We're back outside again. Got something really crazy, awesome going on in the Jerk Garden. All right. And also, like I said, I want everybody to pay attention for this. We got the Roots series coming up. Okay. You know, I remember when the Roots movie first came out and it changed the narrative of our community. You know, we was walking different. We was looking different. Guess what? This is going to have the same impact on our community. We're going to walk different and we're going to act different after this. In a few weeks, Terrence Dixon, Terra Loft Consultant, Terra Cafe, and the Root Store. Look forward to seeing you.
Ira, you get the final word. And may God bless each and every one of us. May we continue to work together. This is Black Wall Street. This right here is Black Wall Street. Ira, you got the floor.
Well, I definitely want to say thank you to both of these brothers, Tony and Terrence. Definitely, you guys are certainly an inspiration. And Ben and I are certainly kind of just trying to follow along in you guys' footsteps. We're still young in this. Been about a year and a half since we had the restaurant open. Just trying to make progress and make sure that we're around long term. So I thank each of you for that level of support. And I definitely be calling you guys to keep it in contact around with some guidance and some advice. So thank you guys.
So this is the Baltimore Black Restaurant Association, in case you didn't know. And now you know. If you don't know, now you know.
All right.
All right.
You got it, Donnie, baby. You got it.
All right.
Good morning, world. Have a great day, gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Hey, blessing everybody.